Hello, kindergarten. This is Miss Keeley. I hope you were all able to receive the packet that I sent home and you were able to practice a little bit more about symmetry. Because we are not in school anymore for the next couple of weeks, and we had already started our symmetrical lizards project, we're going to put that on hold and we're going to try to work on a new project from home. So this new project is going to focus on movement in art, okay? So um, in the video, you might not have certain art supplies that I'm using. So you are just going to have to figure out maybe what could work for you at home, and I can give you some suggestions. Um, so yeah, so first thing that we're going to do is if you happen to have a black piece of construction paper, awesome. That's what I am using. So if you have that, use that. If you do not have a piece of black construction paper, maybe you just have regular printer paper or regular white drawing paper, you can use that, okay? And so I'm going to press play on this video. And so what your first step is going to be is, if you can see, I have a stencil like we've used before in class, and it's just a circle. Um, so what you're going to need to probably do is look around your house for different things that has a circle shape, and you're going to have to trace that circle. So maybe um, if you were to take a cup that you drink out of and you flip it upside down and use that to trace around, you could get a circle. Maybe you have um, like a container that's a circle, anything, or maybe somebody at home could cut out a circle for you and you could trace it maybe with a little bit of a thicker paper. And you want to find different size circles. If you look kind of off to the side right here on my screen, I have a really small circle and then a kind of a medium, and then one I'm using is a little bit bigger, okay? And so what you're going to be doing, I'm going to press play. You're just going to take that circle and you are going to trace around the outside. And if you're using black paper, you should be able to see it a little bit. And then we want to kind of move um, our circle around, because I don't think I mentioned this. We're making bubbles, okay? I didn't really want to give away the hint yet, but we are making bubbles. If you see right here, I have my circle going off of my paper. That is perfectly fine to do. In fact, I purposely did that because I want it to look like this bubble is kind of floating off my paper. So if you want to draw some of your circles kind of being cut off the paper, that's perfectly fine. In fact, I would love to see that you do that. Okay? I'm going to switch out my sizes. I did about 3 big ones, and now I'm going to move on to the medium. And so same thing, I am just tracing around. If you see right here, I put this medium-sized circle kind of a little bit on top of my bigger circle that I traced. That's called overlapping. So if you've ever blown bubbles before, sometimes when you blow them, they stick together when they float off into the air. So that's what I was trying to create, was these two bubbles being stuck together. So I just overlapped it a little bit. I'm going to press play. I'm taking my time to trace around the outside of it, and then I'm going to move my circle somewhere else. Okay? You want to make sure that you're not putting all your circles all in the same areas. You want to create balance in your picture. You want to put different sizes kind of all over the place so it looks a little bit more interesting than if they're all kind of together in the middle of on your paper. Again, you can have them overlapping. And so look at here, I'm doing 3 kind of being stuck together. That's definitely something you guys can do. You don't want to overcrowd your paper too much. You just want to have kind of like a good amount of bubbles, but if you overload it too much, it might get a little bit too crazy. The next step that I'm going to be doing, and the material that I'm going to be using, is I'm going to take a white oil pastel. That is an art material that I do not expect everyone to have at home. I'm currently at home and I do not have oil pastels here. So an alternative that you could use, if you're using black paper, you could use a white crayon. If you're using black paper, you could use a white piece of chalk. If you don't have either of those things, obviously you could use maybe like a gray marker, gray color pencil. If you have a white color pencil, awesome. Basically, we want just like a lighter color to outline our bubbles in. So, and then if you are somebody who's using a white piece of printer paper, white is not going to show up on that paper. So you could use like any color of your choice really is okay, but maybe like a gray crayon or a gray color pencil, gray marker. We're trying to keep it on the lighter side. So I'm going to press play, and I'm taking that white oil pastel and I'm tracing right on top of my pencil lines that I drew for my circle. I want to make sure that I press kind of hard, that way it makes a nice white line. Again, whatever you are using at home, go for it. Just make sure you press a little bit harder because you want a nice, sharp, bold circle. The next thing that you need to do, if you see what I just drew here, I'm going to move my hand out of the way. I just drew kind of almost like a rectangle shape, but it kind of comes down to a point. It kind of curves along the side of the bubble on the inside. This is really important that you draw one in every single bubble that you made. This is called a highlight. That's what's going to make your bubble look shiny. Just like when you blow bubbles in real life, they look shiny. They kind of sparkle in the sky when they're floating away. So that's really important that you draw one in every single bubble. And they can be kind of whatever size you want. And then you can color it in, okay? If you want to add a second one, so right here I'm adding a second one, you can definitely do that. The more you add, it kind of makes it look a little bit more round, a little bit more 3D, shiny, realistic. Don't forget, if you overlapped bubbles, that you want to make sure you go all the way around it, because you should be able to see through our bubble, so you would see that other line. And so basically you're just still tracing over all of them. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit, fast forward it, taking my time to draw my bubbles, add that highlight. Okay, and so that is going to be our steps for this week. I only see you guys once a week in school, and with this new at-home learning, the admin asked that your related arts only be 10 minutes a day. So if this takes you more than 10 minutes, then if you want to keep going with it, awesome. But if it's becoming too much, then obviously you can kind of stop when you need to. But this is what is expected for you to do the first week. So I'm going to be posting it Monday the 23rd. And you will have all week to work on it. And then on Sunday, if you are able to take a picture and send it to me, either through email or Google Classroom, you could maybe have a parent or someone help you out. If not, that's totally fine. You would just need to hang on to it so that way when we get back in school, I can take a look at it. But yeah, so that's all that I'm asking for this week. You should not be doing anything extra on your own. This is our steps for this week, and then I'll have a video posted the following Monday with the next steps to help complete this project. Okay? If any of you have questions, of course, email me. But for now, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.